For a news outlet, Scary, you're going to notice that you're going to get more clicks on stuff that provokes outrage and fear.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Dan Harris is here. We love our Dan Harris. We love you, Dan.
Love you guys.
Thank you for coming in. It was like a conversation how many days ago? We were talking about anxiety, this and that.
Monday.
And I said, good God. Nate, call Dan Harris. Yeah. Get Dan Harris on the phone.
The doctor is in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What's that?
Pick up the bat phone.
Yeah, not the bat phone, the Dan phone.
The Dan phone.
Right. So it's the lamer version of the bat phone.
No, the bat phone is no more. So yours is
Fair enough.
Yours is the only phone. So look, there's a conversation going on with our friends and circles, and their circle, their friends, and so on. And you can read about it with total strangers writing about anxiety that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. The other night, my husband Alex came in from the other room watching the news. He said, "I can't." I said, "You can't what? What can't you do?" I can't watch this news anymore. And his palms were sweating. He was all of the stories out there. You can watch any newscast, and at the end of the newscast, they always try to give you some nice, they saved a puppy from a storm story. It doesn't help anymore.
You know what we call that in the news business? The kicker.
The kicker.
Every night you have a kicker to make you feel better about all the other stuff we just told you.
And you know what makes me feel better? Just kicker. Come here, Gandhi.
No, thank you.
So here at iHeart, Dan, I wanted to share some information with you. We have an incredible department in our organization that, in my opinion, is the most important. They keep an eye on what people are feeling and thinking across the country. We have stations, around the world. But they want to know what people are thinking not only in this country, but around the world. And so every week they give you kind of a little glimpse into how anxious or how happy, how satisfied our responding people are. These are people who listen to us, people who do not listen to us, people from both sides of the political aisle, people who are atheists, people who are very religious. They want a cross-reference of everything to try to make it as fair as possible. So these results came in this past week, and I don't know. I feel okay sharing these. For the first time in my friend's history in working in this department, the anxiety levels are at their highest. And she's been doing this for at least a dozen years. She pulled the anxiety scores. Exactly half of America is rating themselves an 8, a 9, or a 10 on a 1 to 10 scale. This is half of the people you see on the streets and people you know are at an 8, 9, and 10 anxiety level. Half of those, 25% of Americans, are at a 10.
Wow.
These numbers are huge. It could be many reasons, and we were talking about this earlier. You want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things going on. First of all, it's very hard to divorce what's happening, the chaos that's happening in the external world from your inner world. So for sure, the proliferation of chaos in the news is upsetting to many, many people. So I think that's, would you agree that's probably one
Absolutely, but there's
thing?
a part of it.
I think it's a part of it. My other diagnosis is that we are living in a way that is contrary to how we evolved.
Talk about that.
So we evolved as social animals, very much enmeshed in communities, and everything about modern culture militates against that. We're on our phones in this hyper-individualistic, hyper-perfectionistic, productivity-obsessed, FOMO-obsessed, optimization-obsessed culture where we're in our heads and not in relationship. And that triggers anxiety. I think it is I cannot believe that it's a coincidence that this is happening at the same time that we're seeing record levels of anxiety, depression, addiction, suicide, and loneliness. I just don't think these are separate occurrences. And I think there's good news that there are little ways that don't require massive projects to re-engage with the world and re-engage with yourself that will get you lower on the anxiety scale.
What was your quote from Dan Gandhi that you like?
I think of you all the time. The remedy to anxiety is action.
Yes.
And I think that in so many different ways, because there are lots of different actions we can take, whether it is just something simple like going for a walk, talking to a friend, or joining in service and doing volunteer work and community work to make yourself feel a little bit better about some of the icky things that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult for people to do one or two of those 4 or 5 things? Why?
Because we feel paralyzed.
Yeah.
Why do we feel paralyzed? Because it's this phone is what it is.
Yes.
Partly.
And the world seems hopeless and we feel helpless in the face of it. And I get it. I totally get it. The thing is, two things are true at the same time. There are big problems in the world. Actually, three things are true. There are big problems in the world, and I'm not trying to gaslight you and say that's not true. It's true. But there are two other things that are true. One, your news feeds are not showing you the whole picture. The algorithms are designed to keep you anxious and angry. Why? Because it enriches the people who created those algorithms. And so you need to red pill yourself and know that the picture you're being sold on social media is not the full truth. And then the third thing that's also true is even to the extent to which the world is messy, you can take little actions that will increase your sense of agency and give you an ennobling, empowered feeling, like the things that Gandhi just listed.
Here's what I want you to do. Let's start at number 2. Let's start talking about algorithms, okay? Unpack that. Maybe people aren't understanding what algorithms are all about, and how they are born in your phone and in your life, and where they come from and how it affects you versus the person who's sitting right next to you with the same exact phone. They are seeing a whole different world than you.
Yes.
Okay. An algorithm is started by your interest in things online, I'm assuming. You go to Instagram and you do what, and it turns into what?
Well, you go to Instagram or TikTok or any social media feed, and they're studying what engages you. And what they know is that given that we evolved to have a negativity bias to keep us alive, we evolved to be on the lookout for threats all the time. Outrage and anxiety work. They're sticky. They keep us engaged. And that's what these social media companies want. They want us to stay engaged. So they capitalize for their profit on the vulnerabilities of the human mind. And so you just need to know that when you interact with these supercomputers, they are not looking out for your best interest when it comes to your mental health.
I'll give you an example. A simple example, then a harsh one. Number 1, meatloaf. Let's say you love meatloaf. And you keep searching on Instagram and TikTok, whatever, about meatloaf. And you start getting videos sent to you unsolicited. You're like, oh my God, these people know I love meatloaf. Obviously, the whole world is loving meatloaf because it's all I see on my phone.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, plane fights on airplanes. I happen to love those. I don't want to be in one. No, but I'll watch an airplane fight video.
Yeah.
Over, and then here's another one. And now, if you go on my feed, it's meatloaf and airplane fights. Therefore, my mind, and here's where it becomes real. My mind believes everyone is into meatloaf. Yes. Everyone's into airplane fights.
Yes. If you had asked me coming into this,
that's the algorithm.
What are the two things that Elvis searches for the most? Yeah. I would have said meatloaf and airplane fights.
Yes, it's very on brand.
You should see my algorithm.
Yeah, a few other things that I didn't say. Yes, it gives you the way these news feeds and your social feeds personalize to you can give you a skewed vision of the world. And the fact of the matter is, even if you start by searching for something relatively innocuous or harmless like a meatloaf, they will start serving you some outrageous or anger or fear-inducing content. And for most of us, it will be sticky. We will not be able to look away, and they'll notice that, and then they'll serve you more and more and more, because that is our vulnerability. We were prey animals. We did not stop at we did not start at the top of the food chain. We were hairless apes on the savannah, huddled together for safety.
That's hot.
I know, not hot. And the way we got to the top of the food chain is to cooperate and collaborate. But we brought all of that prey animal anxiety with us to the top of the food chain. And so we are wired for anxiety because we're trying to survive. And these algorithms capitalize on that. And what I'm saying to people is, know that when you go into your phone. Try to remember that.
How do you explain that to the youth of today? Like us being adults, we kind of get it. We're like, whatever. But a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old, they don't get that. They think what they're looking at is the truth, and that's it.
Do you remember in the 90s and the aughts, there was this very successful advertising campaign on MTV to try to get kids to stop smoking? And the angle they took was not smoking's bad for you, but these tobacco companies are manipulating and lying to you. You should see through the illusion, speak up. I think kids, especially teenagers, are inherently rebellious, and they want to see the truth. They want to see through the lies and the manipulation of the adults. So that's one angle I'm interested in. Like, these people are manipulating you. Don't be suckered. Don't be fooled.
Yeah.
And it's, and I totally agree. And you being a mother, better than me. I'll ever know about people 15, 16. It's the same with adults, though. This is the difference now. It used just to be, in my opinion, more of a youth problem. Now it's an everyone problem. But adults, those are the future leaders. Those are the people we should be most concerned about, in my other opinion. I mean, these people, they'll be wiping the drool off my chin. I need for them to be able to focus on that.
Yeah, and we are creating a world where the anxiety levels among young people are skyrocketing. And
you're a parent.
I have an 11-year-old boy
and his friends.
He and his friends, these are anxious kids. They are much more open about their diagnoses and their appointments with psychiatrists and psychologists than I was. I was a rare kid, Gen Xer, who did have a therapist. It wasn't a common thing. But I didn't admit it to anybody. Now it's kind of like, I think there are beautiful aspects of that, by the way. I think it's great that it's okay to admit that you have psychological vulnerabilities or mental health issues. That is amazing. But the fact that they're so prevalent right now does concern me.
Wow. What do you think, Gandhi?
Well, I was wondering, you sort of said we were a collective society. We still are a collective society. We should be. Do you think that there are things very specific to living in the U.S. that make us more sad and more depressed than when you look at other societies that are more of a collective society? Like just Japan, if I think about them, it looks like they're all working toward a goal together, and there isn't as much a focus on like me, and they seem happier that way. Do you think there's something to that?
Yeah, there have been studies that show that if you ask people in the West to draw themselves in relationship to their community, they draw themselves really big and everybody else really small. And in Eastern cultures, everybody's the same size. And so I think there's something about this focus on the self that really makes us unhappy, because it's not how we were designed to live. And I don't mean you have to get over yourself and be selfless and be a people pleaser. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying engagement with the world in ways that make you comfortable. For you, Gandhi, it's little acts of service or getting your friends together to do charity campaigns or bigger acts of service. That's beautiful. That's not going to work for everybody. For another person who's maybe very, very busy and an introvert, there's a lot of research around something called micro interactions. That's just like the little interactions you have throughout the day with strangers or people you don't know that well. It adds up to happiness.
That's a very small little amount of time you have with someone.
Yes.
What is, in your opinion, a successful micro interaction?
Eye contact with your barista. How you doing today? Could be as simple as that.
Something as simple as that?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And if you work in the retail or the service industry, how many people actually look you in the eye and say, hey, thank you.
Right.
This is great. Good seeing you today.
Yes. And
I bet the number is very small.
I bet it is. And the thing is, I'm not saying this and wagging my finger at people like you should be a better person. I'm saying you want to be happier. We all want to be happier. There's a target-rich environment out there of just other people who you can be nice to, who not in a people-pleasing, self-sacrificing way, just basic decency and friendliness. It's just, there's so much available happiness out there.
It's so easy to forget to be polite, some people think.
Yeah.
I'm always polite. Always. Am I always?
Really?
Well, not around you. Scary is a question that I want to get to things. I want to get to the action. You've mentioned a few things. But let's get to like real action we can sink our teeth into. So, yeah, Scary.
Speaking about anxiety from the standpoint of division of society, I hear and I see a lot of people online in the comments section saying that the news media is the problem. As a news media veteran yourself, do you see a difference in journalism from then to now? And how it's covered.
These are business decisions, aren't they?
Absolutely. You're first of all, I completely cop to being an anchor. You can hear it in my voice. I still sound like an anchor man. I was one for 30 years.
You kind of dress like one.
Bro.
Poor Dan.
Wait, didn't you say how polite you were like 30 seconds
See,
ago?
he's a liar.
I know, you're my friend. Okay, but
He can be mean to you. You're his friend.
Okay. If you are as old as I am, you remember. To your point, Scary. There were three networks. There was NBC, ABC, CBS. They all had news, ferocious news competition going on, and they back in the day. Much more fair and balanced than they are now. But now, because of so many ways we get our news, it's business.
Yes.
They know, well, if we want this certain audience over here, we have to be very, very conservative. We want this audience, we have to be very liberal. That doesn't seem to be working out for us.
It's about incentives, right? So in a capitalistic setting, and I'm not anti-capitalist, but in the context of a free market, you're going to go where the money is. And it's the same psychology I was articulating earlier about social media algorithms. For a news outlet, Scary, you're going to notice that you're going to get more clicks on stuff that provokes outrage and fear. And so, and this has been true for a long time. We used to say in when I was a journalist, we don't report on the plane that lands safely, or if it bleeds, it leads. These were expressions that have been around for a long time, and it's because it's what the audience wants, even though they may not know they want it. It's what keeps people engaged, what keeps ratings high, and this is an unfortunate reality. I'm not excusing any of this. I'm just telling you the truth.
That creates anxiety.
Yes, of course it does. It creates a lot of anxiety.
But then they can tell you ways to cure the anxiety. So it's like you create the patient and then you give them the cure.
Yeah, so I used to be in the business of creating the problem, and now I'm in the business of giving solutions.
I see you,
Look
Dan.
at you. You're solving you. Okay, let's talk about...
But I still dress poorly. So
no, I didn't say you dress poorly.
That is what Dan is taking away from the day.
No, I didn't say you dress poorly. I know you have meetings today. But,
yeah.
Hey, look, action. Okay, so I'm going to run out today and do what Gandhi did last night. I'm going to go to a church basement and I'm going to peel carrots and we're going to feed some people. Wow, okay. What other things are there in addition to that? Because that is pretty amazing. You do that, what, weekly?
No, like every couple weeks. Yeah.
Not only are you feeding people who need to be fed, but also there's a community in that kitchen.
We love it. We have so much fun.
And you have a common goal. It has nothing to do with what you do during the day. It's a whole different world. What are some of these other points of action, that the simple ones and the more challenging ones? Just off the top of your head.
Absolutely. I'll free associate. First, just to say, Gandhi, that's beautiful what you're doing. And I'm mindful of the person who's in their car right now or doing chores around the house and listening to us and thinking, I'm really busy. I can't go out for an evening and spend time in a church basement. So for those people who are really busy, in your life as you're already living it, there are things you could just integrate into it. One of them we just discussed, which is the science around micro interactions, just these little exchanges you're having all day long. Lift your head out of your phone, make brief eye contact. Hey, how you doing? A ton of research to show that adds up, that scales up to a much happier life for you. Another thing is, very quickly, you can do this right in your car right now. A couple of deep breaths resets the nervous system, gets you out of your head and into your body. You can do this repeatedly throughout the day, and there's a ton of evidence to show it helps. And then just another thing is gratitude. This sounds like a huge platitude, but just bringing to mind, I do this right before I go to bed, what are all the good things that happened today? How can I counter program against the messages I'm getting from my news feed about how the world's on fire and not overlook the fact that all around us there's beautiful stuff happening. People raising their children, holding the door open for somebody else, doing service, being polite. What are you laughing at, Elvis?
Nothing. All the good you're doing now is about to be totally washed off. Our friend Lee Schrager's here.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, but look, keep going. I'm sorry.
Wait, who's Lee Schrager?
You'll see.
Oh, boy.
Don't bring him in. Not yet. You were such a roll. You shouldn't have interrupted just because I laughed at him. I mean, look, these are important things.
They are important things.
I know somebody who actually has something that they say every night. They wrote a whole thank you for this, and I'm grateful for this, and they say it as a mantra every single night.
Yes.
To say what they're thankful for and to put them in a good mind space.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just think this is I'm trying to tailor my suggestions here to the busy person who's telling themselves, I've got 2 jobs and 5 kids and I just don't have time to remake my whole life. there are just these little hacks you can integrate into the day that can really, really help.
Look, one thing you may think is like, oh, that sounds so cute. I'm going to say out loud to myself in my bed things I'm grateful for. Yeah, then I'll go save whales and hug a tree and be grand.
That sounds amazing.
But you know what? It does work. Mm-hmm. It does work. I do one thing. I don't do three because I rarely find two. No, I'm kidding. No, I do. I every night, every morning and every night. The first thing I do in the morning, the last thing I do before I go to sleep is I'm thinking of something really great that happened today that made me feel really good. Yes. And I feel like I'm on track to a great year ahead.
Yes.
It may sound cakey. Do it. Just try it. I got an interesting call here from Kristen. I think this is a very valid question you have, Kristen.
Hi.
Her question is, who is this person you're talking to? And where is he from? Okay, this is Dan Harris. He's an old friend of our show. He has a book out called 10% Happier, which someone wrote in about earlier. Saying, I can't wait to talk to Dan. He's great. Love that book. And don't you think what he's talking about is very valid, Kristen?
It is 100%. I was just telling Diamond, like, my husband sits on his phone in front of our kids, and I'm like trying to feed him any information of why he shouldn't be doing that. So that's why I was very curious about where I can get this information to send it to him.
Yeah. Do you resonate with what Elvis was saying about the fact that it's easy to write off all of these suggestions I'm giving and say, well, it's not going to, the world is so far gone. If I am a little bit more grateful, it's not going to help. What's the point? Does any of that, I'm going to use the word cynicism or skepticism, land for you?
I feel like I'm trying to be like less skeptical. It's funny, like you guys are just talking about gratitude. I just got my husband's birthday was yesterday. I just got both of us these books that say one line a day, and every day you or wake up in the morning or you do it before bed and you write what you're grateful for that day. So we just started it this morning. So it's like it resonates perfectly.
Great. Because my point is I totally understand the skeptical line of thinking that you were articulating a moment ago. And look, none of us as individuals can control how on fire the world appears to be. But how do we want to be in the midst of it? Do we want to be nodes of sanity, little vectors of common sense and decency moving through the world, creating those ripple effects? Or do we want to be miserable and afraid and angry?
You got to do something.
Yes. Yeah, and you can do little things in your world. As Gandhi said earlier, action, even really tiny action, absorbs your anxiety. It can help you pull yourself out of that rut and stay engaged. No matter how pessimistic you are about the state of the world, that doesn't mean your life has to be miserable. You being miserable helps no one. There is we can fall into this performative misery because the world is so distasteful, but that is not serving you or the problem.
But it's also adding to the misery. Like
yes.
If you can take something positive and focus on the positive, I'm not saying forget everything bad going on, but like focus more on the positive, you're adding more good things into the world.
It's hard to understand because it's kind of a paradox. It's like holding two competing ideas in your mind. One way that I've heard this described is to engage joyfully in the sorrows of the world. And can you...
Kristen, what did he just say? Engage joyfully in the sorrows of the world? What do you think he meant by that?
I guess be more positive. Stop complaining about all the things that are going on and focus on the good stuff that's going on and acknowledge the bad stuff. Yeah, exactly.
She understood.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know. I did. I'm just, this is...
Kristen, what's your view on meatloaf?
Oh, God, here we go.
I've never had it, so I don't think I can.
What?
Diamond, how did she get through?
It's not in your algorithm. Look, Kristen, best of luck to you and your husband and your life. And I thank you so much for listening to us. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. Best of luck to all of you guys as well.
Thank you. Look, this is going to be an ongoing thing. I can tell. We're living in a world where these stories, some of them are just now beginning, right?
really just beginning. And, if you look at what's happening geopolitically and nationally, like in the world and in our country, that it can, I get it when people feel disturbed, and there's all the more reason to like fortify yourself, take care of yourself so that you can be, that is not self-indulgent or selfish to take care of yourself. The point is so that you can be better to your children, better to your neighbors, and that matters. That matters. We're not all the president of the United States. We're not the most powerful people in the world. But what we do in our little orbit, I really believe it does matter.
Everything Dan Harris you can find at danharris.com. I'm glad you hooked that one. That URL is
I had to
all
pay
yours.
for it.
You had to pay for it?
Yeah.
Was there a Dan Harris out there?
Some guy or some person went out and bought the name and knew.
Rude.
Yeah.
How much did you have to pay? Would you tell us?
It was a couple $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, not nothing. Yeah.
Worth every penny.
Sheesh.
I'm glad I have it. Otherwise, it was going to be ElvisDuran.com.
Hey.
Which will be up for... I'm going to put that on auction any day now.
Right. Which, by the way, redirects you to meatloaf.com. It's
weird. Crazy.
So strange.
Just you wait. Dan, thank you for coming in today.
Like I said at the beginning, I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next week. Oh, that's right. We forgot to tell you this is a weekly...
Every week, Dan.
I love that.
But there's a lot of stuff going on at danharris.com. Do you have any incredible appearances coming up? Do you have any events that we need to know about?
So I host a podcast that's 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm talking to some of the smartest people in the world about how to get your stuff together so that you can be happy and have a regulated nervous system so that you can be positive and productive out in the world. That is my lane. That's what I talk about. Not only experts, but I talk to celebrities, everybody from Matthew McConaughey to Dua Lipa to on and on and on.
Is your app live yet?
Yes, I have an app called 10% with Dan Harris where I teach you how to meditate.
Okay, you can find everything, all of the above, at danharris.com.
Thank you for letting me
Dan,
plug.
we love you. Thanks
Love
for
you
coming
guys.
in.
Thank you, Elvis.
Enjoy your meeting with that conservative button-down shirt.
Enjoy your meatloaf. And you
what
know
they
what
say.
I mean by that.
Don't let your meatloaf. Very important information.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.